when the head of a state anti-corruption body accuses the government of trying to sabotage him for political reasons, you're talking about one very sick state. And when you saw the reaction to those allegations today from that government, the sheer unbelievable sneakiness, yes, there really is something sinister about Victoria under Premier Daniel Andrews. And the Labor politicians, by the way, who are propping him up, should be ashamed of themselves for not standing up to him. Today, the Herald Sun reported bombshell revelations. Robert Redlich, the then head of the state's Anti-Corruption Commission, IBAC, had written in December to the Speaker and the President of the Legislative Council, both Labor Party members, accusing the government of trying to dig dirt on him for political payback. Now, obviously that's amazing, but so was the government's reaction to allegations that should have rung alarm bells everywhere. I mean, claims of revenge politics that should never happen in a healthy democracy. Now, this outgoing anti-corruption chief, former judge, Robert Redlich, has overseen at least 4 IBAC corruption inquiries into this government. I think you need to know that, about how it's been paying off cronies with government jobs, stealing taxpayers' money for Labor campaigns, that sort of thing. But Redlich now says, well, the Labor-stacked parliamentary committee that oversees this commission, right? It's called the Integrity and Oversight Committee, or IOC. This Labor-stacked body has tried to smear and nobble him and his commission for political purposes. He wrote, IBAC's experience with the IOC, particularly in the last 12 months, evidences a lack of fairness, a partisanship, and leaking of information to the media. And he singled out the worst example, how this Labor-dominated committee had actually told an independent auditor, Kalida, to get him. He said Kalida had provided IBAC with alarming advice that they'd been directed by the IOC's audit subcommittee to, quote, find dirt on IBAC and data that is not readily publicly available. How about that? And he went on, you can see the Herald Sun's got it online if you want to read it for yourself. He gave other examples of government MPs trying to shut him up, undermine his work, like I couldn't believe this one when I saw it for the first time, like the then Labor chairman cutting the microphones before Redlich, who was giving evidence to this committee, could answer an embarrassing question about Daniel Andrews.
Is that the reason why Daniel Andrews was...
Sorry, again. Can we cut the feed, please?
Yeah, it really is that crude. The Liberals today went for Andrews' throat.
We have the former head of Victoria's Anti-Corruption Commission accusing this government of corruption. Corruption by trying to subvert the processes of this parliament.
But this arrogant government's response today, well, it's just about as bad as the allegations. You think a claim like this, right, of political interference made by the state's top anti-corruption official would have to be the absolute priority of a government with a shred of integrity. You know, you go straight to the top, everyone's running around, defend yourself or whatever, or fix it, whatever, but not this one, not this government. First, the 2 Labor MPs who were sent the letter, that was the Speaker and then the President also of the Legislative Council, they refused to let other MPs see this. Keep it quiet. And today the Premier claimed he'd never seen the letter either. Didn't even know of it.
The first I've heard of any of the claims apparently contained within that letter is the coverage about it today.
That seems frankly unbelievable. Oh, and if it is true, some MPs or Andrews staffers who hid this from him, they should be sacked. Although I suspect it could be one of those cases of don't tell me what's anything about this letter because then I can claim I didn't know. Could be as simple as that. And then Andrews tried his usual counterattack, that sneering counterattack, as if it's just too big, too good for anyone to criticise. Who is this anti-corruption guy? Besides, he's gone now.
But I absolutely reject any suggestion by him or anybody else that the government does not behave appropriately. The government does behave appropriately. I'm not having a debate with a former head of an agency who's apparently written a letter that I haven't seen.
when the guy was in office. Andrews couldn't possibly comment, let the investigation take its place. Now there's not in office. Oh, I can't comment because, anyway, he's gone anyway. I mean, seriously, how often have you seen this tactic? I can't comment. I wasn't there. I didn't know. I don't recall. I mean, slip and slide. But Andrews, managed to do all this stuff with that the air of total certainty that fools people. It makes people think, oh, well, he must know what he's doing. He's not even blushing. He must be innocent. In fact, he doesn't know what he's doing. Victoria is the state with the biggest debt of any, by far. The biggest shortage of electricity. And now, the biggest stink over its politics.